everybody. Welcome to the new moon in Scorpio energy update and light language activation for everyone. So I've got a few things here we're going to be using in this episode, and you'll see I'm in like a really cool fairy filled location for this episode, and I really thought I was going to the water, but for a reason I was brought here. So everything in these videos layers upon each other in terms of the meanings to folks that are watching it. And so in this case, I was brought to more of an earth location than water. So that has a meaning in terms of what this new moon means to some of you. We're very close to Samhain, Day of the Dead, Halloween, however you want to recognize it. And so I brought along my book, Moxie Roses. We're going to do an oracle reading out of that because this is kind of a spooky story. So we're going to ask for a little spooky passage that has to do with this new moon. I brought my oracle bottle caps. I'll be drawing a bottle cap. And I also had a special card pop out for this episode. So stay tuned for all of those fun things, and we'll be back in just a moment. Okay, so here we are. We've got all of our goodies we're going to be using. We're also going to be tapping into my spirit guide team and angels and whoever else is going to be joining us for this conversation. So let me just take a moment to check in and see who we have here. So they're saying we have the energy of the Scorpio new moon that's here. So we'll be getting a overall vibe from that energy. Archangel Michael is with us. And the energy of Glastonbury Tour and Avalon is very strongly with me right now, so I bring that forward to those of you that resonate with Avalon and the Sacred Mother and Divine Feminine energies of that space. So the first thing we're going to do is show the card. This card was hidden in my backpack that I use when I go out walking, and it just kind of fell out for this episode. It's really an Uno card, so anything can be an oracle card, right? It doesn't have to be a physical oracle deck, but this card is the reverse card. So that's very fitting right now. They just want me to mention Mercury retrograde, and that is playing a part in the energies of this now for the majority of us. So we're being asked to take a step back, get out into nature, absorb all the incoming light codes. So some of you that watch this, not all of you, but some of you are on an ascension or whatever you want to call it, awakening path. You have chosen to embody your higher self, and if you are, then you know what that means, and if you're not, then just don't worry about that part. Like, just take what you need from this that resonates with you and just kind of leave the rest aside, because everybody's at a different part of their journey. But some of you are in the awakening process, and there are a lot of light codes, and everybody should get outside in nature. It doesn't matter where you're at or what your beliefs are. We all need to get outside more. We need to this is something I keep talking about, we need to get off our tablets, off our phones, off our screens, out of buildings and into nature, wherever that is for you. And don't say that there's no nature because you live in a big city or whatever, because you can find places, you can find something, you can find a little bit of something that is nature to you, even if it's the tree outside your window or, you know, the sky up above. You need to get outside more. So they are really stressing that. Even though for some of us, going in the northern hemisphere into fall, You know, it's getting colder. They're just saying don't let the weather dissuade you from getting outside as much as you can, even if it's just a quick 5 minutes to go outside and just look around you and see what's around you. Are there birds in the sky? Like sometimes I myself am very aware of the nature around me, but sometimes I get like caught up in my own thoughts. And my dog, who's with me a lot of the times, thankfully not today because I'd never be able to do a video, but she is really good about noticing birds in the sky, and she'll just watch birds fly, and I'll look up and I'll see, you know, hawks and all sorts of amazing birds flying in my area. So get out of your comfort zone a little bit and be open to seeing what pops up around you, especially for those of you that are into spirit animals. The spirit animals, insects, whatever you see when you get outside are also all messages to you from your spirit guides, from your angel team, whoever you work with, the goddess, your star family, you know, whoever you work with, those are all messages to you in the form of an animal totem or spirit guide. So on my way into this little thicket that I'm in right now, I encountered some deer. So deer is the spirit animal coming up for this reading, very prevalent in terms of the stag, the horned god, and the hind, the divine feminine aspect of the deer. Oh, and a cardinal. They're the red ones, right? The cardinal just flew by right now. So a cardinal, the cardinal in terms of the bird, is also a part of this reading. So sometimes it's really easy to just go look up the aspects of what these things mean, like Google what is a cardinal spirit animal, but it's also kind of fun to just meditate on that if you'd rather, and see what that means to you personally rather than just reading someone else's interpretation of what those things are. All right, so we're going to do a little oracle reading first from the book. So this is a passage out of a book that I wrote. So all I do is I just say, Spirit, you know, help me find a passage that pertains to the energy of the reading that I'm doing, or the, you know, what the episode is focused on, and they'll draw me to the right passage. And these are all healing stories. All the books that I write are what I call quote unquote healing stories. They're not just books that I planned and wrote out, they're channeled novels, each with a specific intention for healing when you read them. Expect that a healing or an activation will occur from each one of these books. And this month I've just been focused on Moxie and Roses just because it's kind of got a spooky story. So that's kind of what I want to like see what comes up here in terms of this. So let me just see where they want me to go. They're saying to look at the left side of the page. Oh, it's so good. Okay, so actually they want me to turn back one page and just read this little bit of passage to you. So this is this part of the book. I just have to see where I'm dropping in on page 105 out of nowhere. So this is a part where Diego, one of the main characters in the book, he's the bartender and ranch hand that kind of works with Moxie. He goes out for a walk trying to figure out what's going on in the woods around them, which have this crazy happenings and screams and terrifying sightings going on in these woods, the Thunder Rose Woods. And he's trying to kind of get more to the bottom of it and see what's going on. So he just decides to take a walk into the woods. So it says, he could feel something that bowed him to move further into the wood. Keep going, he told himself. What could possibly be in there? It's just some animal, he said over and over again, putting one foot in front of the other. He got as close as the opening to the thick pine trees, and then the screech sounded, and the intensity of it had almost knocked him off his feet. Holy crap, his mind raced now. Keep going, his feet kept moving forward. He saw something from within the thick covering of pine and pinyon trees. I've got to see what this is, he thought. There was a dim glow coming from the base of one tree. Someone must be living out here, he thought again, almost relieved. Well, that would explain a lot, he thought, as he moved in closer. Hello? Is there anyone out there? I'm from Thunder Rose Ranch. I come in peace, he said, somewhat comically, but really wanting it to be clear that he didn't mean harm in case some crazy drifter with a gun decided to open fire on him. But this was no crazy human. No, this was something more sinister and dangerous. This was something that, if provoked, could overtake a man's spirit and cause him to go slowly insane. A consciousness that didn't appreciate being bothered. It was busy, and it didn't want some human encroaching on its work. It summoned the energy to appear in whatever he wanted to see, and so he saw what he wanted to see. The figure of a disheveled human appeared before Diego, and it arranged its energy in order to communicate with him, and he heard what he wanted to hear. Oh, hey, sorry about that, it said, forming itself into words and a vision of a poor lost soul. It wanted him to leave, and it wanted it now. I didn't realize I was on someone's property. I just need to camp here tonight, and then I'll move on. Is that okay? It said, appearing forlorn and needy now, knowing that he was a sucker for a guy down on his luck. Oh, hi, Diego said, with relief flooding his body. See, this was no evil spirit, he told his mind, which saw a poor soul who just needed a break. Hey, sure, no rush, stay the night, but you should be careful out here. I need to let my boss know you're here. I would move on tomorrow morning, though, because folks around these parts are pretty scared right now about what might be out here, he said, with compassion for the stranger. Take it easy, he said, pulling back and starting to turn towards leaving and going back to the ranch. His mind didn't want to admit that this person couldn't possibly have made that noise. He just wanted to believe all was fine so he could get back to his soft bed. So he turned and moved one foot in front of the other, glad he could tell everyone at the ranch that he had located the source of the disturbances in the woods. As he walked away, the thing in the form of the lonely stranger morphed back into its original shape, something so wicked it defied description. It wanted so badly to call out to the others in its loud, wailing scream, but it didn't want to unnerve the human, so it waited. Woo! When I wrote that, I was like freaking out, okay? Because when I write these stories, like I said, they're channeled, so I don't plan anything in advance. I just call in my creative spirit team, and I call in the characters that have presented themselves to me from the book. And if you're curious about that, I have another video on that. But when I write, so it just comes through me, I just sit down and I just say, okay, I'm going to write the next chapter, and I just channel it all in, and it just comes out as I'm typing it. So I don't know the whole story in advance. So when I got to that part, I was totally freaked out because that energy was of that spirit form is just so cunning. And it was so, I don't know, it just has other things on its mind as to what it's doing there. So how does that pertain to this new moon? Because I'm like, okay, that's a pretty spooky passage. That seems like more of a Samhain Halloween passage, but they had me read that now. So let me just see what they want me to say about that. Okay, so they're saying moving forward, it is very important to be discerning of the energies around you. So for those of you sensitive to energy, there are people, and I've seen people posting about this on social media. So there's a lot of people out there that don't know how to work with energy very well. This time of year, there's many spirit forms around the veil. You'll always hear that, like the veil is thin. Meaning that it's easier for the spirits from the other worlds to reach out to us. So some of you may be having dreams of ancestors or elders or loved ones that have passed who are reaching out with messages to you of kind of love and healing. And they're saying that with this new moon, you are empowered, you are perfectly in your power to say no to anything reaching out to you that you feel in your heart is not benevolent energy to you, okay? Because everyone's got their own experiences. So you need to, they're saying, as part of this new moon, get more discerning and better at understanding the energies that are around you. And if that means you need to take a class on how to work with energies, or even if you're interested, they're saying some of you are interested in mediumship, which I'm a certified medium as well. But if you're interested in mediumship, that is another really good way to learn about how to work with the energy of souls that have crossed over. Because many people I see posting, and I was going to respond to this person yesterday, and I don't know who they were. They popped up in my social media feed, but they were like, spirits are bombarding me everywhere, and I had to create this like mojo bag to like keep them away. And I was like, okay. And I'm not like, I guess I'm not making fun of it, because I was totally like that at one point in time myself before I got more experience. So I have to look at that with compassion, because I had a very frightening experience with something from the spirit realms myself many years ago that I was able to get through and learn from. So I know how to help people with that. But you have to get more discerning, or you're going to end up, you know, with a frightening experience. So this is a good moon to set the intention, like, I want to learn more about how to work with my own energy, or for those of you that are interested in working with the spirit realms, you know, set that intention that you want to understand more how to do that, be it to find a teacher, work with your guides, take a class, whatever. It's a good time for that. In this case, the character in the book is not very experienced. He's not very experienced at all at working with energy. And if you read more into the book, there is a Native American medicine man who is part of the clan at Thunder Rose, who has kind of taken Diego, this guy, under his wing, and is trying to teach him more about how to work with energy and how to work with the spirit world, because Diego's interested, but he just has no clue what he's doing. So in this case, he kind of got a spirit kind of put a quote-unquote glamour on, and tricked him into thinking that it was this nice person who just kind of needed a break. And poor unassuming Diego just believed that, and luckily nothing bad happened in this instance. But as we get further into the book, that spirit and those spirits that are tied to only have like bad intent in mind, and the book is all about how that gets resolved. All in love and healing, which is what all my books are eventually come to, is some sort of divine love and healing for the people involved in the stories. So let's draw a bottle cap next. Just wanted to readjust my camera. Seemed to be falling down for some reason. So these are the bottle caps. They are before they changed them, and then I got disappointed and stopped using them. But these are the live kombucha bottle caps. But when they were pop caps, they've redone them now, and they're screw-off caps, so they're different. So I can't really put them in this collection, because I guess I could. They feel a little different because they're a different shape. But there's a bunch of them in here, and I just draw one. They each have sayings, and we just take a reading from whatever we get for that. Okay, so the one we got is... it's the same thing. I think this shows up backwards, so I don't know if there's any sense in even showing it to the camera. But it says, be the type of person you want to meet. It's the same thing we're talking about. It's the same thing we're talking about. Although in this case, Diego is a really nice guy in the story. I don't think he really wanted to meet an evil person, so he just needed to protect his energy better. But what are they saying? What are our guides that have showed up for this new moon reading saying about be the type of person you want to meet? They're saying, okay, they keep saying it's all back to discernment. They're kind of also bringing in the law of attraction. So, oh yay, Abraham Hicks and Esther Hicks are here, just in spirit. So it all goes to the law of attraction too. So be the type of person you want to meet. So if you want more love in your life, you have to project more love. You have to be more love. You have to love yourself, which a lot of people, myself included, need to work on a little bit more, is the self-love. The self-love, really loving yourself unconditionally, even if you screw up and make mistakes and things don't go the way you planned. Don't beat up on yourself. And all those things are all about self-love, and self-care plays a big part into that. And it's all about If you want to call in the love of your life, you have to be your own love of your life. If you want more joy, you have to be joy. If you're not, many of you are familiar with the law of attraction, but if you're not, that which, I always mess up the saying, but it's like attracts like. Okay, so if you want love, you have to be love. If you want joy, you have to be joy. If you want success in your career, and your job or whatever it is, then you have to feel successful already. There was a meme I made and I posted a long time ago that was like, can you already feel successful right now where you're at in your life? Do you have to actually have something more, that thing that you've been trying to attain for a while, to consider yourself successful? Because in order to be successful and to generate more success, you have to already feel successful. That's a big one that I am working on personally, because I feel like just my shadows that I work with, I'm working a lot with like perfectionism and trying to be overly perfect in the things that I do. And I've written, I've already written, I don't even know, how many do I have? I have 4 novels published, and I'll have 3 more by the end of the year. And I still feel like, that's not good enough. That's not enough, that I should have done more. That there's always something I keep wanting to change about them, and I just need to everything's enough. It's a success, whether one person reads it or 500,000 people read it. I have to be comfortable with where I'm at. So this is a big message for you, because they're really focused on this. So it's not just about me. This reading's for all of us. So they want us to be comfortable where we're at. Be the person that you want to meet. If you want to meet like some hunky guy or sexy girl, you have to love those parts of yourself. You have to embody your divine feminine and your divine masculine, because all of us are both. Okay, so whether you're a woman now in this lifetime or whether you're a man, you still have a more emotional feminine side. If you're a man, that part of you exists whether you want it to or not. If you're a woman, you still have that yang masculine, divine masculine side of you that exists, and you have to learn how to love all parts of yourself, so that will draw to you what you've been wanting. So let me see if there's anything more they want me to say about any of that. Okay, they're saying nope. So we're going to move on next to the light language activation and see who's dropping in for that. Whatever's in you that needs or wants to be activated is going to be activated. Like my camera just suddenly stopped out of nowhere. So we could have spirits playing little spooky jokes on us right now. So anyway, let's do the light language. The other thing they said is this is going to be a heart opener to open you up to more self-love and to ask you to go within. Okay. So this is an embodiment activation and a heart opening activation. So here we go. So there's healing energy coming out of my hands. If you want to accept this healing, you just have to say, if you've never worked with me before, you just kind of want to say, I accept this healing from Tami. This is part of the whole transmission. And now it's going to get a little bit faster. Plutonian energy. Okay. Okay, these are really, it's hard for me to sometimes to verbalize after I do this because it's so high vibe. It kind of shuts off that part of my brain and opens my crown really wide. But what that was doing was clearing a passage from your throat to your heart and your heart to your throat. Because many of you have things in your heart you want to say and you're just afraid to say them. And this is going to kind of open that up. Anything else? Okay, so they're saying that's it. So, as I was doing that, Saint Germain also came in and enveloped us in the violet flame. And so for those of you that are concerned about energies around you that you don't want around you, whenever you experience that or you feel that, like, you're going to know. Many of you are very sensitive in your skin. You get tingly or whatever, like you react to energy through your body, which is how we all do, but some more than others, like their skin, like myself, like when I'm really channeling, sometimes I have like chills all over. That's also like a validation sometimes for things that you're saying. You'll get chills in your body. So if that ever scares you in whatever way, it shouldn't. But if it does, you can just see yourself completely surrounded by a violet flame, and that transmutes any negative energy from around you. And so that's another thing they want me to bring up is this time of year, our ancestors, our elders, our loved ones departed try to reach out to us, but they don't always show up like right in front of us. A lot of times they're in our peripheral, and off to the side of you, you may see like someone standing there or whatever, and then you turn to look and there's nobody there. So that is most often spirit reaching out to you. So the other day I was in my house and I was looking at my son, but out of the corner of my eye, kind of below me, I saw like my dog who's passed walked right in front of me. Like I saw the whole top of his body go by, like just like as if he was right there. I saw him pass in front of me, and of course he's gone, so that wasn't, he's there in spirit, but that's kind of how you see it. Like you're focused here, and back over here you may see something there. They're saying some of you are going to see something over my shoulder. There's somebody there for you, right back there. It's going to be different for each person, but they're saying if you are wondering like, when am I going to see my person? They're saying kind of unfocus your eyes a little bit and kind of look right in here, and whoever that is for you is going to show up, or you're going to hear them speak to you. So that's what this light language is going to do, or what it just did. I said it was going to thin the veil a little bit. So it's already starting. For some of you, it's not going to happen right away. Sometimes it takes about 24 to 48 hours before this light language kind of soaks in, for lack of a better term, before things might start occurring for you. So this was a really fun reading. There was a lot going on here. In terms of the new moon, it's really an empowering moon. It's time to set these intentions. It's a time right now, between now and the Day of the Dead. If you want to connect more with the spirit world, it's a really good time to do ritual and meditation around that right now as well. So I think I've talked long enough. Remember, I said don't be on your phones and tablets so much. So put this down now and go outside and have some fun outside, which is what I'm going to be doing next, is just walking around in nature a little bit. So take care. I love you, and I will see you all in the next video.